This is a common type of bean tart. This is also a bean tart. This is a common type of bean tart. This is also a bean tart. This is the common bean burger. We usually see this as still a bean burger. This is a locust tree, but it is actually a bean's hell plant. Doesn't this leaf look like? Doesn't this fruit look like? And this flower is indeed a bean's hell plant. There's a strange resemblance. Where exactly do they resemble each other? I can't quite put my finger on it. Cardamom flowers. It's definitely not just ordinary skin tone symmetry. Instead, there is a very large part called odd lobe. There are two more wing flaps below. At the very bottom is the keel petal. This tweed pattern resembles a butterfly. It is called a butterfly flower tube. There is another type. Attach the odd petal between the wing and keel petals. It is called a false saucer-shaped corolla. What about these two flower patterns? It covers the vast majority of legume species. In addition, Leguminosae petals naturally exhibit gradients and low saturation colors. What about the flowers of legumes? It's still very fresh and elegant. Some legumes have very dense flowers. Layers can be stacked. Its ornamental value increased immediately. If you're looking for a landscaping agency, you might see some large coffins. The leaves hadn't grown much before a bunch of flowers appeared. He's the tissue seller waiting at the gate. Paper towels can be used for viewing. It can also be used as a place name. There are many purple mountain areas across the country. I think the most famous one is this one. We are now at Zijin Sand Station X. J Sand Station is a transfer station. Passenger for long 2 pulleys alive from life site. If you frequently hear this system notification sound, then your child will be very fortunate to be going to school. Hey, if you often see the sheep spirit symbol, oh, that means the gameplay is different on your server. Where is the sheep spirit gathered in Hong Kong? It's not actually sperm. Instead, it refers to species of the genus Bauhinia. Sheep-hoofed rat and Bauhinia rat. Both are subfamily Bauhinia. They look naturally very similar. In 1880, a priest in Wirewall Bay, Hong Kong, a unique set of sheep hoof shells was discovered. Some people call it red flower sheep's hoof. Some people call him Yang Zijing. Later, it became widely known in Hong Kong. It even became the city flower. District flower. Actually, this plant is not a single species. Instead, it's safflower and sheep's hoof potassium. Hybrid of Gongfin sheep hoof potassium. Almost no reproductive capacity. So what we see is, they are mostly his indirect descendants or clones. Duck plants. Another very important mindset. That is, some of them are vines. Does this scene happen at your school? You are from number 1 high school. I also went to number 1 high school. This type of plant is called Wisteria. There are 2 species of the genus Analgesic native to China. Counterclockwise, long Chinese, pain relief. Japanese pain relievers with clockwise rotation. Sai, even though the painkiller is a rattan cane. However, thanks to its built-in fertilizer-producing capabilities, their vitality is extremely strong. The rattan has become woody, very thick like a sapling. The tangled roots are like a prison. You can even spray it directly on the wall. The flowers are blooming very profusely. Certain varieties of Japanese wisteria, the flower can grow up to 2 meters long. These 2 types of painkillers can even reach lengths of up to 30 meters. There is a plant in the United States called Madre Mountain Pain Relief from China. It is over 100 years old. The area there exceeds 4,000 square meters, weighing over 250 tons. If we disregard price and rarity, it would be even better if it could severely injure the green jade vine. This plant can be found in the Zhishuangbana Tropical Botanical Garden. Its flower seeds? It is a very beautiful and rare turquoise color. Many trendy and fashionable tech products. Everyone likes to use this color scheme. Like Huawei Tianxian. The Savior series includes case studies. The green vines are not only beautiful in color. Moreover, the flowers are also very large. Take down the 2 genuine ones in your hands. It looks like a butterfly. The larger the flower, the larger its pollinator. There is a type of bat pollination. When bats are feeding on nectar, it will squeeze out the nectar. It landed right on the bat's back, helping the green jade vine to pollinate. Because this type of bat is not found in China, therefore, they are all artificially pollinated. The flowers are large and the fruits are also quite big. The green bean curd pods were wide and thick, about the size of a hand. One type of bean alone is 5 centimeters long. His relative, purple jade vine, is also known as multi-flowered jadeite vine. This is a mixture of purple and turquoise. It has a kind of chaotic neutral beauty. The beautiful emerald pattern is blue-purple. The exotic emerald kudzu flower is yellow. The emerald kudzu flower of Madagascar is orange. Red jasmine vine is a vibrant and passionate red. Ancient forest. Hawaii living in Pacific Ocean. It's not that Hunghua Jade Pavilion can't afford it. Instead, safflower oilseed sesame layer is more cost-effective. Red flower oilseed layer. It is also a way of life. Arthur with the wine forest in the New Year's. Large climbing legumes. Even your pollination relies on bats, just like the emerald vine. Brazil's South American long-nosed talisman and long snake talisman. It is an effective distributor of oxwood oil hemp vine. What about the fluff of the flat seed oilseed vine? It looks just like a gorgeous little chandelier. Its odd lobe has a groove. The bats were prominently featured on the Great Wall. It's so far away. The screen shows an unexpected attraction that draws bats. As long as you are a full pink brand, a swipe of the tongue. The health and mana bars filled the screen instantly. Oilseed rattan rope. There are more than 100 white-flowered oilseed rattan plants that have been mistakenly brought into the motherland. Large-fruited oilseed vine. There are also purplish-black long green sesame vines. Both are relatively common types of tongue oil vine. Although yuba tongue is very beautiful, but they're evil barrels and bean shells. It was covered with poisonous downy hairs. Some soybeans resemble knife-shaped embryos. Some look like caterpillars. If the fuzz pricks the skin, it will cause unbearable burning pain. Even their nectar. It smelled awful. However, there are still loyal fans of the elements. The doctor often heard about squirrels. And the squirrel came to feed on the nectar, help them pollinate. If you think that the growth of the sesame vine is still too slow, then try fan beans. The Latin name for the genus Lupinos is Lupinos. He also has another name, lupin flower. It's actually the Latin name for een and sandoshu. There are more than 600 species. Their flowers come in red, white, and pink varieties. Yellow, blue, purple, and other colors. There are also various mixed gradient color schemes, because its fluff is well-developed and brightly colored. However, her figure isn't particularly distinctive. So what? Often used as a backdrop in mass planting. There is a kind of Lu Ping cow dung in Shiga. Geminatonos is an exception. Its height reaches 8 meters. It has grown into a sapling. Umbrellas are not only for decoration, but also for consumption. Like the Mediterranean region? I love eating the seeds of white peas. It can be eaten after soaking in salt water for a while. The inhabitants of the Inca Empire cultivated diverse crops. The umbrella holder has a history of over 6,000 years. From the perspective of leaf shape, it's quite an unusual plant in the legume family, along with Sephora lentil. Because many non-vine leguminous plants, the leaves are very distinctive. They are usually a single branch, lateral growth, very well behaved. Some rules are so strict that one can avoid harm on their own. The mimosa plant is also in the Sinaceae family. Its leaves are very neat, like feathers. Its leaves will close or even droop when touched. The reason is, their leaves are basically covered with leaf lesion cells. You can think of it as a balloon filled with water. What happens after being stimulated by external factors? The dermal cells on one side will lose moisture. After shrinking, the leaves tilt to one side. Although, in our view, this function, it cannot stop humans from destroying him. But what about the natural enemies of many plants? Actually, they are various insects. Once the leaves fold, insects are impossible to bite. This trick is quite effective, although the mimosa plant is native to the South Gate. But it has already become an invasive species in many places. Look, I found so many mimosa plants in Guangxi. In South America, there's also a species in the genus Mimosa, the water mimosa, possessing similar stand abilities. What's different? Its quiet appreciation involves many large organizations. It can make it float on the water. You don't even need to plant lotus leaves to fight zombies anymore. What about China? There is also a type of bean-shelled plant called five herbs whose leaves move. At the base of its top leaf are two small leaflets. As long as the temperature is above 22 degrees Celsius, it will slowly shake like a flower-waving hand. If you yell at it, it will dance even faster. Therefore, it is called five herbs. Where are the leaves? The characteristic of bean husks is not very representative. The truly distinctive feature of bean husks, it's their seeds and the bean pods in the outer packaging. Once the bean pods are ripe, they dry and crack. It can explode with the slightest touch. Launch the seeds to a distance. There is a plant in Africa that is considered one of the four evils. Their bean sprouts look like a guandao, a type of halberd. What if it explodes? This will spread the seeds to extremely far places. Why is it far? A large part of the reason is that they have a large family fortune. Firstly, they have few children, and bean sprouts have an average of only 2 seeds. Each bean sprout has a relatively large splitting force. Secondly, their supports are very tall, exceeding 40 meters. Standing on the shoulders of giants, let their seeds shoot. The distance can exceed 60 meters. There are also some seeds that are outstanding. For example, the cycad. They are all giants. Like this African cotton skin, big and small. It looks like a belt covered in jewels. In Yunnan, there is a type of arrow vine that can grow to over 15 meters long. The size of a bean is about the same as a chess piece. Such a big bean. Some students are probably wondering if it's edible. Actually, it's edible. However, it is poisonous, just like green beans. It needs to be roasted in the fire first. Cook it in a pot again. Only then can the most toxic substances be completely removed according to the course. Green beans can reach a length of 2 meters. The shrunken seeds inside also resemble a new type. So here is the question. Who is going to swallow and spread such a large seed? In fact, many core seeds are hollow inside. In addition to the extra thick seed coat, they can float at sea for 2 years without decaying. Extra thick outer skin. This also allows the seeds of the course to be turned into collectible items. Take it and pat it like that. Hey, it's so authentic. The African nasopharyngeal beard was even hollowed out by the locals. Make nasopharyngeal hair. The seeds are large, and the trunks are also large. The vines of the gourd can reach a length of 120 meters. Its thickness is in no way inferior to that of a sapling. As for the giant vines, sometimes it can be as thick as a big tree. Look at these large, intertwined vines. At first glance, I thought it was a chain from some ancient demon seeking help. The older you get, the stronger your back becomes. Some vines even grow into fleshy plants. It grew its upper half into the shape of a tree crown. And what about when designing some large seeds? Indeed, the idea of using some giant beasts as disseminators has been considered. For example, the pods of the egg-shaped bean are very round and plump. At first glance, it looks like a sports water bottle with a very high rigidity. It takes force to break it open. A little pulp was added between the seed and the pod. It smells like foot odor. In some places, you call it chewing fruit. It is also known locally as bitter white willow, but it tastes very sweet. What happens after the fruit pulp dries? It turns into fine fibers. How can it be said to crumble into powder at the slightest touch? This is a completely natural product. Large-sized, foot odor-scented dragon beard candy with its own packaging box. Put the powder in water or milk. It will make the drink sticky and sweet. It definitely tastes better than Starbucks. In South America, there is also a very large bean and plant called the elephant ear bean is 2,535 meters tall. 35 meters in diameter is considered quite tall. What's outrageous is their canopies were like giant flashes of light. Very large. The bottom is very flat. The art style is cartoonish and has an excellent ability to provide shade. Their bean pods are short and wide. Involution also occurred. It becomes a structure similar to an elephant's ear. It can be cooked and eaten when it's still green. But what people discovered, wild elephant ear beans are almost never eaten by animals. The seed coat is just too thick. It won't sprout at all if it's not broken. Damn parents. They ruin the parents' children. Why would something like an ear be so stupid? Actually, when he was designing it, the target customer is the Earth. Blue America resembles other giant animals, and by these giant beasts with a very large range of activity, excrete to a distance. As it turned out, plans couldn't keep up with changes. 10,000 years ago, these behemoth customers were collectively wiped out. Elephant ear beans have also lost their corresponding spreaders. In the Mediterranean and the Middle East, a unique plant also grows there. Carob trees are dioecious. The bean sprouts from the female festival are very thick. It takes a year to grow up. After it dries, it looks a lot like a sausage. Between his bean pods and seeds, most of it is fruit pulp. The pulp contains about 13 sugar. This is a valuable thing in nature. It can be directly extracted into syrup or crush. Heat and then add water or milk to cook. Make into a beverage. You can also crush the pulp and heat it up. Make into various high-end desserts. There are countless honey drinks. It can even be crushed and poured into a mold to set. Look at this shape. The color. It definitely tastes better than chocolate. As for the offspring seeds of the angle, on the contrary, it's not very big. Each one weighs only 0.2 grams. Is this weight familiar to everyone? Actually, the carat, the unit of weight for diamonds, is made up of. The word carry evolved from the radical of angle. Carat. It uses a single angled seed as the standard. Calculating angles. That's really kind of you. Not only green beans. I stuffed a sugar gift pack into it for people to use. Oh, surprisingly, the seed itself didn't contain any poison. It even has a slightly sweet taste. Seeds can also be processed into thickeners. If you don't understand, everyone can take a look. The food packaging bag says carrageenan. Ear loop adhesive has the same effect. This is just a little interlude. That's ear loop adhesive. It is actually a type of beans hell plant. Extracts from hanging beans. Guar beans originated in Africa. Its leaves and bean sprouts can both be used as vegetable seeds. Beans are difficult to digest. However, people grind and pressurize it for milk synthesis and hydrolysis. What happens after ethanol precipitation? This can be made into a thickener for ear loops. There is an angled tree to the west. There are similar tamarind trees to the east. Tamarind actually originated in Africa. However, it has been cultivated in Asia for many years. It's already considered a planned plant. To put it simply, I've already been cultivating Asian plants for a long time. He also has a very authentic Chinese name, Luo Wangzi. In southwest China and Hainan region, it is planted in many places. Luo Wangzi's soy milk. It looks like a peanut that was kicked and landed on the rim. There was also some pulp mixed in between the bean pods and seeds. The flesh isn't just sweet. It's sweet within sourness. So some people blended them into juice. Add sugar to make a beverage. Some people also think the stuff is way too sour. Sour juice applied to copperware. All of these can cause a three-dimensional reaction between the Dionysus plug and the copper inside. It should be made into a condiment similar to vinegar. Use it to make salad dressings and curries. Tony Jaa. They're really good, at making one kind of dish have multiple hidden merits. It contains romaine lettuce, because romaine lettuce has a slightly sweet taste. So some people cultivate some Legumes varieties with a focus on sweetness. It's commonly known as tamarind. The seeds of the romaine lettuce can also be pressed for oil, just like soybeans, but not for eating. Often used in woodworking varnishes, or something like karst topography, boiled beans and bean maker. The new material from Legumes is also very sturdy and durable. Pair with romaine lettuce oil. It can be made into statues and small ornaments. In the Americas, there is also a unique beans hell plant, applied beans. This refers to 35 species of plants in the genus Inca. They also have a more distinctive name, ice cream beans. When we removed the seed clips from their forearms, you'll find that it's also stuffed with white fruit pulp. However, it doesn't grow from the inside of the bean pod. Instead, it's the aril that grows naturally from the bean itself. The texture is similar to marshmallow. It tastes like vanilla ice cream. What is vanilla flavor? Vanilla flavor is more than just a nickname. It's actually just the most ordinary, the least distinctive kind with a slightly milky aroma. Original flavor ice cream. If a game only has the base game and no D2C, if you flip it over, it's called vanilla flavor game. The bean tartare produced a chain. Alternatively, each button battery can be packaged individually. Look at this Pacific chestnut. Because bean sprouts are large and thick, there is only one seed. When he looked like some kind of fruit, it can grow to a maximum weight of 1 or 2 pounds. After peeling and boiling their seeds, it can remove the toxicity. After crushing, it can also be used as a carbohydrate source just like chestnuts and coconut. Taro has become an important food source that has stumped the residents. If a species soy milk still contains toxins, what about using it in bulk? It can also play an unexpected role. Many cardamom plants, besides hemagglutinin. We also often hear the term soap dry. Indeed, there are many cardamom plants. It was used as soap by local residents. Soap-based products directly weld oil and poop onto the face. What happens after the soap-based ingredients are crushed? When placed in water, it will produce foamy soap molecules. One end is clear water, the other end is clear oil. A master of cultural exchange between the oil and water industries. In this way, the oil will float in the water. In ancient times, it could be used as both soap and shampoo. Although green beans are poisonous. But remove the green skin from the beans. The remaining outer endosperm is edible. Using it to cook soup will make it taste like it has melon ear gelatin added. It became very sticky. There are also many incongruous plants growing on the soapberry tree. Spikes like a cheat code. These thorns are hard and slippery. Can be used to make antiques and collectibles. I just applied some Debeo face cream and used up all the oil in the dish. It's so pretty in bright red. There are also cardamom plants, based on oracle bone script, to do some highly imaginative and artistic alterations. For example, the horseshoe bean mouse is still small. Dojia is a string of C code blocks. The graduation project can be either redesigned or restyled. The white mugwort clusters together many flowers. It forms a very traditional radially symmetric structure. Its fruit, it is also composed of many small bean sprouts. The beetle tree sprouts will turn red after they mature. It contains sweet white or pink flesh. In short, it was black. Sometimes it's very beautiful. Sometimes it looks like a string of eyeballs hanging on a tree. Extremely harmful. Bloodwood soy milk also used the same strategy. The black seeds with a thick skin are very conspicuous. But actually there's no meat at all. It's just that the stem attracts birds to swallow it. Even the most basic public works projects are too much trouble to be done in the north. Only a frame remains on the bean pod. It has a hollow shape. Birds are attracted by layers of seeds. If a bean and plant, it won't any good with bean sprouts. This doesn't mean he's a useless person. The largest part of a plant is not its flower. It wasn't his leaf either. Rather, it is his torso itself. Beans and the body of plants. Not only can it be used to burn soybean fins, like mechanical vines, his vines. It can be bent into a bracelet. Put dozens of sleeves on your arms. That geothermal energy is absolutely huge. Do you remember the golden rain bean from before? Its fruit is edible. Its wood is also very hard. What is hard? There is such a standard. Applying pressure to an 1,143 mm steel ball. Let the steel ball sink halfway. The required force is the card's hardness. The wood for the soft liquid container requires 10,500 newtons. That is close to 1 ton of force. Only then can it be on top. It pressed out a pit less than 6 millimeters deep. Although the hardness of bean husk plants, it's not among the top-ranked timbers. However, their average quality is extremely high. It can be said that in the Ministry of Emergency Management rankings, the one that occupies the most spots is bean shell. From a life perspective, various types of locust trees that we commonly see, its hardness is significantly higher than that of other plants. So much so that even using it to make furniture is too troublesome. Of course, this also exists. The inherent disadvantage of Sephora japonica seeds is their susceptibility to cracking and deformation. A legume if silhouetted enough. And it is not easy to deform or crack. And paired with beautiful patterns, then it can enter the world of precious woods. Students who enjoy doing crafts, you should all know this kind of purple wood. It is actually a new material from the South American cassava plant. What happens after it oxidizes upon contact with air? It will turn into a beautiful purple. Students who understand cutting tools, you should all know about chicken wing wood, right? It is actually African bud bean wood, birchwood, and cassava species. On the ironwood wood, there are many black textures similar to chicken wings, used as a knife handle or bow and arrow decoration. And what we often say, zeton, one of the 3 traditional types of rosewood. Purple sandalwood refers to small-leaved purple sandalwood Pterocarpus santalinus of the Pter. He was not tall. He's not straight either. Many of them are even hollow inside. The price is also very high. As for other species of yam, although it is related to sandalwood, however, its hardness and density are not as good as those of rosewood. According to national standards, it belongs to the rosewood category. So what? They usually have 2 easily confused common names. For example, Pterocarpus macrocarpus is also known as Burmese rosewood, African rosewood, also known as hedgehog rosewood. Indian rosewood and smallleaf rosewood are from the same region. Therefore, it is often simply called rosewood and sold at a high price. It can also be used as grafted smallleaf sandalwood, wood of species in the genus Dalbergia. It has a sour aroma after being cut open. It is called sour juice. Some have thick black textures, known as black mountain juice. Rosewood, such as Dalbergia odorifera, is also known as red Duras rosewood. Dalbergia latifolia, also known as Indian rosewood. Brazilian rosewood, also known as Brazilian blackwood. Sometimes a spider web-like texture appears, ideal for making all kinds of classical musical instruments. East African black rosewood. It was almost entirely filled with black textures. Highly recognizable. Also known as purple sandalwood. Ebony. The proportion of yellow yam in my area is relatively low. Those with a black base color are called red sour juice. And there are many more types. Brazilian rosewood, Dalbergia oliveri, Dalbergia odorifera, microoxygenated rosewood, etc. What's particularly special is Dalbergia ceratifolia. His color scheme is purple and black. As for the resinous rosewood, it's the big red sour juice from the 3 classic redwood products. Rosewood with a savory aroma. It belongs to neither red nor black. It is a separate type of fragrant rosewood. His more well-known name, it is Hainan rosewood. Speaking of these woods, people might think of it as something only for the super rich. A century of history, records of the grand historian, Chenzhen, and similar figures. They are actually far more beautiful than we imagine. There are fewer than 100 tigers left in China. Tigers were quite common back in the last few decades. So, let's go back a few hundred years. The environment will naturally be better. Have you noticed that the buildings in the Forbidden City are quite short? The Central Hall of Supreme Harmony. Its bare height is only 2,692 meters. When it was rebuilt in 1965, the proportion of Phoebe Janon wood is surprisingly only 47. 41 of it is actually pine wood. Although the southern tombs account for 95 of the total area of the Qianqing Palace complex. Southern tomb used. It was actually taken from another temple. Why not use Xinan tomb? It wasn't that the emperor was benevolent, but several hundred years ago, the source of large trees in the country is almost exhausted. As for temperate primary forests, it vanished into thin air 1,000 years ago. Hainan rosewood, Zhaoyuanzi Beach, and other places were in the Qing dynasty during the Tigerland change. Also due to resource depletion, we can only rely on imports and dismantling old furniture for supplies. To this day, in Southeast Asia, wild hardwood resources in Africa, South America, and other regions. Also in the depletion of collective resources. Zoos can only allow animals, eagerly surviving in the cage. But what about the big tree? What to do about the stream? How do organisms beneath the soil in the city awaken? How to preserve the natural landscape of the atmosphere? Complex food chains. What kind of symbiotic relationship is it, and how is it manifested? Only by being as complete as possible. Protect the original production system in situ. Only in this way can a country be preserved as the most unique in the world. The most negative ecological environment. October 12, 2020. At the Biodiversity Park. Chinese government. Huaishan National Park officially established. Hainan Tropical Rainforest National Park. Northeast Tiger and Leopard National Park. Giant Panda National Park. Sanjianjiwan National Park. As one of the first 5 national parks in China, he no longer considers provincial or municipal forestry as a priority for protected areas. Land and Water Conservancy. Agricultural units forcibly cut off. Chaotic management. Instead, it is a complete production system as the dividing line, managed by the national park. The story of these 5 national parks. Everyone can follow. Documentaries produced by Bilibili. Our national park. Revolutionizing image quality with the most advanced technology. Entering the most remote and dangerous areas. With the cutest and the wildest. The rarest and most intimate encounter with living creatures.